Hello, welcome, Cabbage here. In Nier Reincarnation, let's talk about the first anniversary livestream. And I'm not going to differentiate between like the JP or the global because it's basically one version now. I haven't done recap videos for Nier Reincarnation beyond the first one about a year ago, but this time there was a lot of in-game stuff to go over, and the global version is so caught up to JP that we are getting the stuff announced here now or very soon anyway, so we can talk about it here. It's strange, it was a pretty low-key affair, and yet I came away impressed and moved. I hope I'm not coming across as dramatic, but I've watched the JP mobile game industry for almost 10 years now, and I've never seen a game like this, so I feel like I can't be hyperbolic. And when I say I haven't seen a game like this, I mean like in-game, and also outside of the game, like the developer's attitude and the developer's commitment. Believe it or not, there are very few Japanese mobile games that are like, low effort scams, like ripoffs. If a game sucks, it's usually because of like bad management or like a certain area of the game was like not funded enough or not worked on enough. But Nier Reincarnation, they really kind of go above and beyond. I think you can really feel the love for the game playing it. Just the care and then the artistry that goes into the game. From what I gather from longtime Nier fans, they are familiar with the kind of setup that they had for this livestream, but the all-black staging and the voice actor mini-play and the music performance really added a weighty air, like I was experiencing capital A art, not just a corporate video game news update. Not that video games can't be art, I won't go into that discussion here. But this livestream was just more evidence that Nier Reincarnation is a unique entity in the Japanese mobile game industry. I get comments from folks saying this is their only mobile game, or this is their first mobile game, and you picked a good one to play. Don't tell my War of the Visions viewers, but if you put a gun to my head and told me to delete all games but one, I think I would keep Nier Reincarnation. Thankfully, I don't have to make that choice, but yeah, I have to see this game to the end. Again, there's so much here different from the typical mobile game, from the character design to the game design, from the focus on stories to the inclusion of the cage, from the low-pressure economy to the fact that such industry visionaries are so personally supporting the game. And I want to stress that last point. Yoko Taro and producer Mr. Saito and composer Mr. Okabe are kind of living legends, not only in the offices of Square Enix, but in the greater video game industry. And the fact that they commit so much of themselves shows that they really believe in the game. I don't think it's exaggeration to say that Reincarnation is their main project right now, publicly anyway. And based on their history, they relish taking a form and turning it on its head, in this case, the mobile game. The Nier Reincarnation crowd is not gigantic, but because of that, it feels kind of exclusive and secret, and that we're experiencing this wonderful thing that we just stumbled across. Like almost all mobile games, it is not going to be around forever. It's really more of an experience than a game, so we have to grasp this chance now, and that theme too I feel the creators relish, that sense of fragile impermanence and ephemeral beauty. Again, longtime fans of Nier are probably familiar with these themes. But as we shall see from the announcements in this livestream, the game is healthy and will not shut down soon. How do you like that segue? Alright, so let's talk about the actual in-game announcements. First, there are anniversary rewards and campaigns. There are 218 plus 2 free polls. The reason for 218 is because kind of like in America, maybe other countries as well with English, when they show a, oh, this might be too old for some people, but like on a television commercial, when they show you the telephone number for their company, they'll choose a like a specific set of numbers which will correspond to letters on your, touch-tone phone. And it can spell out, I really love carpets or something. In Japanese, it's kind of similar. There are different ways to say numbers in Japanese. There's the ichi-ni-san, which pretty much everybody is familiar with. But the 218, you can read that as ni-i-a. Nier. So it's like a Nier number, and then they added 2 just random pulls on there to make it an even 220. This is already available when I put up this video, also in global, but it's standard pool. There is no pity system here. And now is a great time to get back into the game if you left earlier, and if you left because you thought the battle gameplay was shallow 2 or 3 weeks into the game. Just wait until Tower and Subjugations come around again. They will kick your butt. There are also some rewards handed out. These have not come yet in global, based on when I am recording this. There will be upped success rates of leveling units, weapons, and memoirs. That will be 100%. And certain quests will get upped drop rates. I think it's a Guerrilla, Daily, Dungeons, and Story. No Dark Memory quests, unfortunately. And I might want to do the daily quests so I can get more skill leveling materials. I'm always running out of those. Alright, there's also a new anniversary banner with Sariu, Rion, and Demas. They all look pretty great. I'm particularly interested in Sariu and Demas because these are their first limited versions, I think. And then no hats on any of them, if you don't count the crown on Leon. And a handout version of Lars 4-star, that's pretty exciting. Looks like he combed his hair. And his background is red, so maybe he is fire element. In a future update, Subjugations will become an always-on game mode with seasons and weekly rewards and stuff like Arena. I feel like if they do this, most days I will just hit the skip button. But if I get some major addition to my account, maybe I'll go back in and try to raise my score, like when I unlock Dark Memory Lavania or something. Alright, next, Final Fantasy XIV collaboration. This is insane. I was thinking maybe there would be a non-Nier property collaboration, but Final Fantasy XIV is pretty major. And the aesthetic fits because so many of the characters have white hair. What'll be interesting to see is how and if they monetize the collaboration. Very often, Final Fantasy XIV collabs and other mobile games are free. I heard a rumor that Final Fantasy XIV's producer, Mr. Yoshida, has a condition that he will only allow collaborations if they are free, meaning like no paid gacha, that kind of thing. But I haven't done the research to see if that's true. So in Nier Reincarnation, we might see handout versions of like Yashutora and Thancred, and then Hatcher versions of the main story characters in Final Fantasy XIV costumes, like we saw with Drakengard 3. We'll see. Then they laid out the roadmap for the next few months, and let me tell you, a game that is in trouble does not do this, unless they are explicitly saying they are shutting down. Furthermore, they hinted at more collaborations beyond the scope of the roadmap, so that's even better news. Collaborations cost money to produce, so Nier Reincarnation must be doing alright if they have multiple down the pipeline. On Japanese Twitter, I see folks with level 90s of the brand new Hatcher weapons, sometimes even 2 level 90 copies of the brand new Hatcher weapons, and I'm like, okay, people are spending, good. I'll go ahead and make a prediction. There will be an 80% chance that there will be a second anniversary for Nier Reincarnation. And before I forget, I think director Matsukawa, he said that he was thinking about adjusting the pity system in the game. Probably that will mean more generous in the future. Okay, but here, let's look more closely at this slide with the roadmap. We can see February, March, April, May up there along the top. And then the top one there, the main story, that's the blue thing. They will add a new chapter to the Sun and Moon story. Below that are event campaigns. During February and March, they will do the first anniversary event, which they're doing now, and then the return of Nier Automata. I guess it's the 5-year release anniversary of Nier Automata, so that will return. It's kind of crazy to think that it's been only 5 years, but also already 5 years of Nier Automata. And then in April, Nier Replicant will return, and then in early summer, they said, Final Fantasy XIV will get the collaboration. Okay, next we have these red areas. These are like quality of life stuff or new game modes or whatever. So let's see. February, the first one there. New story content, secret stories. These are like continuations of the character stories. You can only see them if you progress the standard character stories. So, yeah, you can't spoil yourself. And looks like Mama's flying there along the top. So every month it will get updated with more secret stories. That's awesome. Next, the subjugations. Again, they will get the always on capability. And then costume bonus. This is a thing where if you get more versions of a character, like a bunch of versions of Akeha, then all of the Akeha versions will get a buff. It sounds like a minor buff. Next, the March. They will add EX hard difficulty levels to event quests, so that'll be cool. I think some of the rotating quests, they haven't been super challenging. They've been more kind of just grindy, so it'll be cool to have a higher difficulty. Sometimes there's the variation where, you know, there's the 5 stages you can farm, and then there's that super hard version at the end. Sometimes I'll just keep hitting next stage, and then I'll beat that super hard without even noticing, and that's kind of sad because I just beat it too easily. Alright, and then for Arena they will add a weekly reward thing, that's cool. And then for Guerrilla Quests, let's see... They'll add something. Maybe it'll be something like where you can choose when you want to play the Guerrilla Quest every day. Alright, then we got April. They will add a hard mode to the exploration. So the shooting game or the Flappy Bird game, they'll add a hard version. I think they said that it will take 10 tickets to play, but you'll get 10 times the reward. That would be cool. And then in May, the new red thing there, will be the ability to change costumes of your characters. I have mixed feelings about this. I'm most worried about PvP because based on what version of a character I see people using, it will kind of change like the priority that I want to attack that character. Like Gale, there's many versions of Gale that are good in Arena. If it's like the New Year's version, not the New Year's, the Anniversary version, then I know that she's going to do a lot of damage, and then it's also easier to take her down. So she's going to be my first target. But if it's Bloody Gale, maybe I will save her for later, so... I'm a little worried about costume changes in PvP. Maybe they'll do it so that you can only change the costumes for PvE. That would be fine. Another thing that I'm kind of iffy about is that I feel like if you really like the costume of a character, you will make the effort to use that character, even if it's weaker or less appropriate, just so you can satisfy that costume urge. But I know that if we get this change to the game, I'll have a lot of fun changing costumes just all the time. Okay, that'll do it for the roadmap. Then, to round out the program, there was a voice actor mini-play and an acoustic performance of much of the soundtrack. And whereas with the game information and the developer's commitment I was impressed, these performances were where I was moved, much more than I could have expected. It's hard to explain. I like subculture nerdy stuff, but I also pride myself on not going overboard with my fandom. Like, I don't scream or cry at teaser trailers. But when I heard the voice actors and the musicians get into it last night, I was just enchanted. I'm considering doing a translation video of the mini-play. It'll be some work, but probably no editing to do, just a translation start to finish, so maybe it won't be so bad. I hinted at it in a community post, but when it comes to doing translation, I want it to be accurate and natural and lively and brief without losing the cultural nuance, so it takes me a long time to find the right words. And that's why I don't do any translation for work, because I don't want to have to do that like on a timeline for money. Okay, that will sum up the first anniversary livestream. It had a very good reception, really good reputation among all of the JP players. So yeah, the community's feeling good about the game. Lots to look forward to. Alright, thanks for watching and we'll see you again. Take care.